Our results for second quarter 2024 for the Kenya Shilling Fund, we managed to achieve returns of 2.66% net income, which translates to an annualized half-year income of 12.1% for our Kenya Shilling Mansa-X Shariah Fund. For the Mansa-X Shariah Fund US dollar, we managed to achieve 1.62% net return for the quarter 2 2024, which annualized comes to 7.82 for the half year 1 of 2024. Overall, Mansa-X Shariah Fund asset under management grew by 35% for the quarter ended quarter 2 2024. For quarter 2, the markets were the equity markets performed fairly moderate, starting with a negative performance in the beginning of the quarter 2 2024, marginally gaining towards the end of the quarter. At the S&P closing at about 4%, realizing 4% growth for the quarter ended quarter 2 2024. While on the Islamic indices grew by 1.7% for the quarter 2 2024. On the other hand, the Sukuk index actually realized a negative growth of 1% for the quarter 1 2024, growing marginally again in quarter 2 2024, and closing at 0.6% growth for the whole quarter. But despite that moderate growth in the markets for both the equity and the Sukuks, SIB Najah, the Mansa-X Shariah Fund, realized a good performance. This is due to the diversification strategy the fund deploys in making the investments in different asset classes, which helps us in achieving or maximizing our returns from different asset classes, and not limiting us to specific investment portfolios, therefore allowing us to, despite the moderate performance of the markets, realizing a good growth for the quarter 2 2024. Top 10 holding for quarter 2. I will mention a few, but we have shared the fact sheet for the performance of the fund for quarter 2, which I will request everyone to refer or look at it for more in-depth details on it. But just to mention a few, we have invested in Sukuk bonds, both sovereign and corporate bonds issued by the government of Egypt and corporate entities in % for the Kenya Shilling Fund, about 18.57 for the dollar. We have also invested in various equities in different sectors of the economy, from healthcare, retail space, technology, and also the industrial space, among other asset classes that actually the fund has invested in for quarter 2 2024. I will once again refer you to the fact sheet, which gives you a more detailed breakdown of the investment that we made for the quarter, highlighting the top 10 investment for both the Kenya shillings and the US dollar fund. On all the equities that we have invested in, they are all Sharia compliant or halal entities whose stocks meet the threshold for compliance from a Sharia perspective. Since before we invest, we always do what we call the Sharia screening, that makes sure that every investment in equity or stocks are in line with the Sharia principles and the entity's activities are compliant from a Sharia perspective. Secondly, what we also do in that regard is we do what we call the income purification to make sure that the returns from those equities are purified by the end of the trading period, to make sure that what we're passing on to our investors is purely halal and compliant from a Sharia perspective. For the second half of the year, 2024, we are expecting a lot of volatility in the markets, which has been fairly quiet the first half of the year, majorly due to the upcoming US elections, which affects quite a number of the major markets. We are in the summer months, which usually the liquidity is low in these months of the summer compared to the other months of the year. The geopolitics across the world is escalating in quite a number of countries, which definitely affects also the markets in the medium to the long term. We will, despite those challenges in the market, we will deploy very defensive strategies to stabilize the returns for the fund, the Mansa-X Shariah Fund, in addition to our diversification strategy, where we are going to diversify and exploring other asset classes where we'll invest in to make sure that the returns for the second half of the year are stabilized and probably even be better than what we realized in the first half of the year 2024. In the medium term also, the central banks, major central banks in most of the countries have also made some interventions to stabilize the markets in the medium term, which we hope that will better the results in the short and the medium term for the second half of the year 2024. Overall, for the first half for the second quarter of the year 2024, Mansa-X Shariah Fund asset under management grew by 35% from the quarter one. I would like to therefore thank our investors who have been with us through this journey and who have actually supported us in this. And we will assure you, as we go to the second half of the year, to maintain, as per our promise to you, that we will maintain all your investments in compliance with the Sharia principles, to make sure that every investment that we're doing is in compliance with the Sharia principles, and that every return that we are getting back and giving back to our investors is a halal return that can be proven beyond any reasonable doubt, in line with the approved asset classes that the Sharia board has approved for us, and which is where we are making our investments. We are also assuring our investors that as the fund being, a multi-asset strategy fund, to make sure that we're diversifying the risk on the fund at any given time by investing in different diverse asset classes, which minimizes or mitigates the risk on the fund, and also maximizes on the return that we are making for the fund. And we will keep diversifying the investments to make sure that we will give you a return that is commensurate to the investments and that is in compliance with the Sharia at all times. We have also been, in quarter two, been licensed by the Capital Markets Authority as a special CIS fund, which is a vote of confidence from the CMA. Shows that the fund is growing and in the right direction. We once again welcome you to Mansa-X Shariah. For those who have been with us, you have our assurance that the fund will grow, inshallah, and will give you better and better returns as we move along. For the ones who have not joined us yet, I once again call upon you to join us. The fund is open for each and everyone who is looking for a Sharia compliant investment and looking for a halal return on their investments. Welcome, and thank you very much for your support.